Okay, well, I think for the first time ever I've actually started the recording, only a few minutes, and lost it. Well, let me round on it. I was considering a review of Hermetic principles, 7 of them, and well, it's sort of ancient wisdom, the ceebalion, Kybalion, 7 Hermes, you say Hermes, Greek, Hermetic principles upon which the entire Hermetic philosophy is based, are as follows. Now, this is just Greek, it's not as ancient as, but it's referring to what has become the wisdom at that time from the Greek point of view, Hermetic point of view. Okay, 1. The principle of mentalism. Basically that it's all mind stuff. What we take as this reality is not the true reality at all. The true reality is its thought. Secondly, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. So that's the referring to the recording that I've referenced in the title to this, I will have reference anyway, to this recording now. The principle of vibration. In other words, everything is vibration, rate of vibration, cycles, wavelengths, high-low, light, from what we think of our range from sound to light, but much greater range than that. From 0 to infinities of frequency of vibration. And therefore, if everything is mentalism coming back to 1, then that it's all to do with vibration. We tend to think of something, and if we think of the principle of correspondence, then we'll be thinking of it in terms of cycles. So vibration seems a bit like a wavelength or cycle of receiving and not receiving, if you like. And we can imagine the correspondence that everything at each level is such. The principle of polarity. Extremes, and extremes being opposite, but opposite in being mirror images, somehow the same, but in reverse order. There's great balance, isn't there? The polarity we tend to think of as being, happiness is relative. You're either happy and unhappy, and the two, to some extent, are. It's all relative. Polarity is pretty close to the principle of relativity. There's principle of rhythm, number 5. Rhythm is close to our, what we think as being fundamental, time. Do you see, you start to realize, there's thought, and there's uncertainty, and there's time, we can think of similar key concepts that make up our view of living reality, our conceptual view. The principle of cause and effect. Oh yes, we believe in science. Oh, well, what's science based on? The belief that there is a basic cause and effect structure to the universe, and therefore we can understand the universe from this point of view and predict, and, well, we can start to make wise decisions because we know the outcome of what certain actions would be then, in as far as we have an understanding of, back to mentalism, of the true reality. So 6 is the principle of cause and effect. It sounds like science. And 7, the principle of gender. What's that? Something to do with complementary aspects of something that make up the thing's whole. You know, we might think of a family being male and female. They have the advantages of both. I mean, very simplistically and traditionally, one does the external work and earns the income, and the other one makes the home lovely and worth living. You know, they're complementary, aren't they? The gender. Compliments, you see? Compliments. Support. Hang on. Isn't 7 actually something about love? Of course it is. It's got the number 7 applied to it. The ancients were obsessed with the meaning of numbers. If they put a principle down as number 7, my goodness, it's going to be key. And 1 is going to be the very foundation, isn't it? Hello? Have we got a Kriya here? You read it now, breathing in 1. Everything is thought. Remember, this is a hermetic principles of philosophy. Well, philosophers are egocentric like the rest of us. They immediately think philosophy is the most important thing in the universe, so they put philosophy first. No, I tell you, they say, we are the ones that should be running the place. We're the ones that have the right thought. And it's all the thought. We are absolutely the kingpins in this setup you call society or humanity. So we start with the principle of mentalism. Correspondence. Oh, it's something about creativity. Oh, as below, so above. What do? The child copies the pattern of the adult. God, he's just like his dad. She's just like her mum. As below, so above. As above, so below. They mirror what mum and dad are. They're copying their role. Role pattern. The principle of vibration. In the stomach, vibration. Food is the materials of the right vibration for the body's health. It's the stomach. 3, vibration, principle of vibration. Polarity, the heart. Oh yes, the heart doesn't just love, does it? Oh my goodness, it might equally be hating. Oh, that's terrible when someone hates you, isn't it? But it's of the heart, they just hate. Let me not get too involved in this for a minute. But do you see polarity of the heart? Or if you like, more beautifully, I receive love, and the other extreme, I give love. The principle of rhythm. 5 is the throat. Would you believe the voice, the tongue, the mouth? Rhythm, of course, you sing worship. You sing God's praises. Oh, well, I'm winning now, aren't I? What's 6? Cause and effect. I hear and I see. The thoughts come into my mind. I hear, you tell me. Oh, yes. I see. And you start to think accordingly. Cause and effect. And in fact, your whole mental process is sorting out the cause and effect. Man is number 6. It's based on mentalism. He's trying to understand his God. You'd never manage that, will you? Oh, yes, you will. Think of the principle of correspondence. If I understand the world, I'll understand God. Oh, well, in that case, you'd better look at all that's good and lovely, because you don't want to understand the devil, do you? No, right. So whatsoever's good and lovely, think on these things. But of course you may be intent on making war machines, and you reap accordingly. Poor soul. And so we come to 7, the crown, the principle of gender. We are God's reason for living, and He ours. As one of the great Eastern ladies said, I think it was Mirabai, she said, when she was rejected for being a woman, even though she's an enlightened soul. And she replied back, I thought there were no men compared to God, which put her critics in their place. And they came humbly before her, and so the story goes. Okay, the principle of gender. Complementarity again, isn't it? Correspondence again. Cause and effect, creativity. Polarity. It's all in there, isn't it? In the principle of gender. Principle of gender is, when you bring them together, you see, you have completeness. 7 is completeness. It's the rest you've achieved. It's the 7th day of the week. It's the Sabbath. It's the being with God, the communing. We make up what He wanted to always make complete, His joy. He now has fellowship and company forever, and we're part of it. Wow. So, you see what the 7 Hermetic principles are. They're a Kriya. They're a Kriya. I never thought that would come to me this morning. Let me just pause a sec. Yeah. Now look, you don't need to have it second-hand from Marshall. You get it direct. Well, as direct as might be available at the minute. You have a look at the sacred texts. Hermetic Principles, and it's chapter 2 of I think a book by that name. It's a sacred text, or at sacredtext.com. Oh, okay. The ceebalion. It's pronounced apparently that way. I checked that on Google. Look, I'm no expert on this, but indirectly I seem to know more about it than I thought. Why? Because God opens more of his mind to us. Seek, and you will find. That's what Jesus says. And it's true. Bless you, and you are blessed. Thank you, Dad. Wow, and so, although I lost the beginning of what would have been this recording, I just plunge into it, trusting that God's going to make it a blessing. And I feel he has. Well, I feel blessed. I do hope you do too. Thank you, Dad.